Hi, first grade writers. Welcome back to another day of realistic fiction writing. I hope you had so much fun creating another book for your realistic fiction book series. Today, we're going to learn that the very first book in a series plays a really special role. It introduces the character and the character's world so that the readers will be set up for all of the other books to follow. Introducing your character in book one. I want you to take a minute to think about which is the first book in a series. We've been spending a lot of time looking at Henry and Mudge, a realistic fiction series by Cynthia Rylant. The books you have listened to so far are Henry and Mudge and the Happy Cat, Henry and Mudge and the Snowman Plan, Henry and Mudge, the first book. So take a moment to think about, out of these three books, which one is the first book in a series? If you're thinking about the title of the book, this is going to give you a big hint at which one Cynthia Rylant chose to put first in the series. If you are thinking Henry and Mudge, the first book, then you're right on. So I want you to think about some ways to start your first book of the series today. I want to teach you that series writers often tell a lot of important details about their characters in book one of the series. When the writer tells details about book one of the series, it helps the reader understand the characters better and know what to look for in the other books of the series. So as I was looking at Cynthia Rylant's first book of Henry and Mudge, I noticed a few things. Below, I have some examples of the first few pages in her book. We learned that Henry had no brothers and no sisters and nobody to play with on his street. We learned that Henry has no pets at home and he's feeling very lonely. And when he went to talk to his parents about it, they looked at him and wondered that he doesn't have any pets to play with or brothers and sisters or any children on the street. And then we get introduced to one of the most beloved characters, his puppy, Mudge. So it only makes sense that this has to be the first book of the series, because if you've read the other ones, you know that Mudge plays a really important role in Henry's life and all of the following adventures that they get to go on. Here are some important charts that you've been using in your writing a series book, and I want to introduce you to another chart that's going to help you think about book one of a series. So when you think about writing your first book of the series, you're thinking about introducing who the character is, where the character lives, what the character likes, how the character feels, who the character's best friends or family members are, and any other important background information that your reader will need to know to read the following stories. Writers, today you need to do some important work before you start writing another book. So as you dive into writing, you know how important it is to touch and tell your story and then sketch your picture across all of the pages. So you need to take a minute to decide and a second to think about what your plan is going to be today. Choice number one. Some of you could still be working on a book from yesterday. You know we all work at a different pace, and that's quite okay. Will you add a page or two at the beginning of that book to introduce your character? Or some of you are ready to write a new book for your series today. So now you might have 2 or 3 books in the same series. If you're going to start a new book, think about how to write the first book to introduce your character so that all of the other adventures that your character goes on will be nicely laid out for the rest of your writing. So, writers, before you go off and do all of your great writing and work today, make a decision. Either whisper it to yourself or somebody next to you. It could be your pet, it could be a pillow, it could be a doll, or even a family member. Go ahead and make yourself accountable for making some really great independent choices for writing today and go get right to work. Don't forget that at the end of these slides, there's a lot of tools to help you with spelling and all of the fun features that you've been learning about in realistic fiction writing. Off you go, writers. Have fun writing today.